if you see in current expense this year, right now is $28,328,000 in capital outlay. And we used to divide it, but in reality, it's capital dollars. It's helping us not only with roofs and paving and equipment that we need. It's also, and certainly we'd like to thank our county commissioners for the additional $500,000 in safety enhancements that are allowing our schools to put in the virtual locks and the locking systems and all the requirements that we need to make our facilities safe. If you remember through the work of the Joint Facilities Committee, and I believe that was Mrs. Holt, Mr. Craven, and I think Coach Wood, was that, or no, Ms. Corn at first, and then Coach Wood, I think, came on it, if that's correct. But anyhow, the Joint Facilities Committee worked with the county commissioners to develop what we kind of came up with: maintenance, repairs, technology, and safety. It was capital dollars that we would have as a school system for the next 4 years, roughly $4.6 million per year for over $16 million to help us to take care of the maintenance issues, the technology, repairs, and safety. It was easy. We called it the Mr. T money because it's maintenance, repairs, technology, and safety. And it was certainly there to help us, number one, catch up. And then number two, to get ahead. And so that's certainly very well that we appreciate that.
That's the first time I've actually gotten Mr. T.
Mr.
Me
T.
too.
The first time I actually, okay, Mr. T.
Did I miss that?
No, sorry. Educators, we're the worst for acronyms. And so if it's great, and so therefore Mr. T just works. But it is maintenance, repairs, technology, and safety. So now let's talk about the proposed local current expense budget and what we're looking at for next year. And I will say this: I have been in communication with County Manager Steve Wyatt. This is not just something that a superintendent I'm throwing out there. I've been in close communication with him, and we all understand as we're sitting here in an empty room where we usually do this, and it's open to the public. We don't have to look around to say times are different and times have changed. And so he quickly told me that right now in the county as a budget, there's so many unknowns. And so right now he would like to put a hold or a freeze, any terminology you want to use on the Mr. T money for this year and next year, which basically means for this year, there were 3 outstanding projects that we were going to do. Number one was it was $300,000 for technology. But for us, we were carrying that money over anyhow. If you remember Rick talking about it, we need to buy new Chromebooks, but we need to buy new Chromebooks next spring versus in the fall because they change models. And just like your iPhones and every other piece of technology, once you start getting updates, the older models won't accept updates. So therefore, that's why we needed to hold that money. The other 2 projects that basically will be on hold right now is the rugby entrance and the upward entrance. Those 2 projects, we've got numbers, but they didn't have purchase orders. So as a point right now to continue to hold those as well. There's a long list of projects next year. Dr. Bryant will be in here shortly. We'll swap chairs. He will talk to you and walk through with you the capital outlay dollars and kind of how he's merged the 2, of taking the $1.5 million that we currently have, pulling some projects off of that Mr. T that are critical and going ahead and doing those, plus some of the projects that were planned already in the $1 million, and merging those 2, but to continue to hold those dollars. Mr. Wyatt also said that right now that he believes as far as a county, he would allow us to have an increase of $1 million in current expense, which is $29,328 versus $28,328. And then what we'll need to talk about, and would be my recommendation, and right now it's in current expense, is where do we want the $1 million to go? We could put $500,000 in current expense and change this slide and put $2 million in capital outlay, or it would come out to be 1.9, and I'll get to those numbers just in a few minutes. It does not have to all be in current expense. That's what the slide is right now, but we can certainly talk as a board on what our request would be of that $1 million. But right now, according to Mr. Wyatt, he believes as of right now that he can increase us $1 million, and a little bit more explanation of what that $1 million would do for us and his reason for why. Let me go through the current expense and then we'll get down to the COVID-19 local allotment of 400. Yes.
Before you get there, can you go to go back a slide, please? Of the 1920 Mr. T money that we had there, how much was not appropriated to us?
John has those numbers and he'll bring that down to you. I don't know right off the bat, Mr. Craven. I do know the project, but I know the exact dollar.
So you're looking at rugby and upward were in there for 1920.
They were in it for this year, yes, sir, and $300,000. So that's.
So you're looking at. Okay.
I know that upward was around 700,
yeah.
700, and I can't remember rugby. Number is just, I've seen it, but I just don't want to all of a sudden throw something out and tell you that's wrong, that Dr. Bryant can bring you that number. But I know it's 700 and then 300 for technology. So there's $1 million right there.
Of the Mr. T money.
The Mr. T money for this year.
That's sitting there.
Yeah, the
So
4.6.
They